That one felt good. That one felt also. As they always do. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Back here, Bradley Park. Been too long since I've done a Bradley Park run. Back with the squad, the Pure Vita squad. Come out here, do a quick 6-miler, and then get up in the get into recovery mode. They have a cold plunge that I jump into in a sauna. Get rid of that soreness, get rid of those lingering injuries, and keep yourself very hydrated to get this marathon done. Even if I have to just do it on my own and do the 26.2 miles on my own while I'm recording it right here, doesn't matter. Getting this marathon done sooner than later. I'm not gonna put a specific date on it, but we're gonna say it's gonna happen sooner than later, all right? As far as today's Move Swiftly thought, let's address, recording this Saturday, October 5th, 2024, and some of the major NFL news that has come out this week has been the superstar wide receiver Davante Adams is officially, as it has been reported, has officially been requesting a trade from the Las Vegas Raiders. And if you recall, maybe a couple years ago, Davante Adams was being talked about as one of the best wide receivers in the league, coming from the Green Bay Packers. He was a free agent, signed for the big money over in Las Vegas. If I'm not mistaken, I believe, he's from that area, so it might have been a homecoming, and he gets paid handsomely, and he gets to give back to his community and all that. And again, all that I understand from the player's perspective, but what I do is I give it to you from the business owner's perspective and the teamwork perspective, and understanding how building a team, you have to look beyond the skilled, quote unquote, players, the players who are athletically blessed, the ones who are making money based on how athletic they are. And again, I'm not saying that Davante Adams doesn't put in his work. I don't know personally what his work, what he does on an everyday basis, but I do know for you to make it to that level, you have to depend more than skill. And I know for a fact that he's put in he had natural athletic ability, obviously, but he's expanded upon that based on his work ethic and his skill and all that. So I'm not saying that he doesn't do that. However, what I am going to say very clearly for you guys is learn from the NFL, is that you cannot build a winning program if your wide receivers are your highest paid players. I mean, it's been very common theme in the NFL that when you sign wide receivers for big money, eventually that leads to the demise of your franchise. It doesn't translate into Super Bowl wins, just like in your business. If you're just hiring someone based upon their athletic ability or based on their skill, whatever their skill is, and you're not doing things to build around their natural ability, you will fail as a business, you will fail as an owner, you will fail mercilessly. It will be a horrible failure, horrible mistake, all right? You can look at Odell Beckham Jr., you could look at Tyreek Hill, you could look at Stephen Diggs, you can look at the countless wide receivers that they've paid upwards of hundreds of millions of dollars to, and that the franchise, the team has gone under, all right? It's very, very important that you grasp this concept because, like I said, when you're building your business, when you're building your organization, it's so easy to get caught up in the skill and get so excited about what we in the business world like to call that shiny object syndrome, to where you as a manager, you as the owner of the business feel like, okay, I don't have to train the staff, I don't have to put pieces around them that make them better because they're going to just go out and win games for me, all right? And this will lead to the demise of your business. Now, let's understand when it comes to doing the right thing, how the teams who have been winning, the teams that have been winning championships, so let's just look at the last two teams that won a championship, whether it's college football or NFL football. You saw that they had organization, they had full teams develop, whether it was the Kansas City Chiefs, they got rid of Tyreek Hill, who is the best player in the National Football League, and you see what he's doing. You see how much of an effect he's having on the overall outcome of the game now that, there aren't the pieces around him. It's just not having a factor as much. In fact, there were actually takes this week about did Tyreek Hill make the wrong decision and all that kind of stuff, even though, just ridiculous stuff like that. But we won't. That's another conversation for another day. So when it comes to building things the right way, you look at the Michigan Wolverines, the last year's team Michigan Wolverines. By the way, we got a big win against Washington today. We got to really solidify ourselves. I'm hoping as a fan that we actually start to see a passing game and we can make a statement win on the road against Washington. But if you look at them last year, there was a solid It was a solid offensive line, solid running game, and the defense was the difference between them and last year is defensively, that D-line was being rotated literally every other drive. Every other drive, you saw a brand new defensive line, and they kept them fresh. Guys were getting in the backfield. Guys were getting home. They were stopping them defensively, and that allowed them to play Michigan football, which is run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. However, still have the threat. J.J. McCarthy wasn't the greatest quarterback, but he was good enough to get certain passes get certain passes to where those safeties couldn't creep up as much. He was fast enough to go pick up the first down on his own, all that kind of stuff. He was good enough compared to what he had around him. And there's a first round, that's what made, in my opinion, what made him the first round pick quarterback, which again takes me to another place when it comes to how ridiculous and how much this NFL draft is actually ruining franchises with the NFL draft and free agency and all that kind of stuff, right? So I don't have time to talk about that right now, but that, and then you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, understand what kept them in the game throughout their struggles. When they had struggles at wide receiver last year, they still ended up becoming the Super Bowl champs because they had the pieces around Patrick Mahomes, they had the pieces around Andy Reid to really make a run and ultimately become the world champion. So take that into consideration when you see the things that are going on out in the public, and you see these big receivers who are big money receivers, these receivers that are making tons of money, and see how it's actually ruining franchises. And when you consider all of that, there's ways of relating it to your organization so you don't run into the same problem, all right? All that being said, if you want me to come in and I'd love to come in and do a deeper dive do a real diagnostics, really take a look at your business, really take a look at your staff and how you're going about hiring your people, how you're going about creating or reducing turnover and all that kind of stuff. Main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, to have me come in and host a workshop or do a keynote or anything like that. It's makeyourmove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. It's a one-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.